800-272-9741 for details or log on to OGE.com.
KERX, Paris Fort Smith.
2 seconds, 1 second, he lets fly with a shot.
From the Busch Light Studios, this is ESPN 95.3.
These guys are awesome, baby. You have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Urias to Adames. Call strike 3. The Dodgers win. Finally, the wait is over. The Dodgers are the champions of 2020.
I'm gonna pour
Are you
a little
okay,
bit
buddy?
out for the end of the baseball season, guys. Yeah,
I thought
I'm too happy about the World Series ending in 6 games.
I was going to say, Matty, didn't he say yesterday this thing was guaranteed to go 7?
I think he did put a guarantee on it.
I think he did.
I don't know if I
Just
said
be
the
glad
word
we had
guarantee or
baseball at all.
That's a good point.
If I just said I want it to go 7 games, and then I thought it would go 7 games.
He
and
said
that
if
this
it doesn't,
series
I'll
should
shave my
go
head.
7 games. I don't remember anything about that, Matty. Although, hey, I would do it nonetheless anyway. It's got to happen sooner or later. World Series ends. I got to chuckle a little bit at the idea of the long wait. I understand it had been since 1988, since the Dodgers had won a world championship. And I will say this. I have a tough time rooting anytime for big market teams. But this Dodgers team is an easy route for me. It really is. It's a great team. Caps off an amazing 8-year run. And the crazy part about it is this 8-year run may end up becoming like a 16-year run with the way that they are set up with this young ball club for the most part that's complemented by veterans that have been around for a few years with this team. Obviously, Kershaw, Justin Turner, Kenley Jansen. There's a lot to get with Turner and the post-game celebration and the total oddity of a COVID test returning positive in the middle of a World Series game. And then the player, I mean, Turner is like the heart and soul of this Dodgers team, has been for a long time. Pulled out in the 8th inning. Nobody is sure why. And then you figure out, the release comes later after the game is over that he had tested positive. And then you see him out there celebrating afterwards.
Did he catch it halfway through the game?
What's that? I'm sorry, man.
Did he catch it halfway through the game?
Yeah, I don't exactly know.
I don't know how that works.
There hadn't been a positive test for Major League Baseball in over a month. I think it had been like a month and a half. That had the bubble for the postseason, and it had worked really, really well. So the other aspect of this is it could be, as we saw from Nick Saban and a number of other athletes and coaches, this could have been a false positive. That's the best hope I would have for it right now, because otherwise, if I was the rest of the Dodgers, if I were family members that were on the field after that celebration, I'd be a little bit worried that you may end up in a super spreader event. So I would just hope that is a false positive.
But you would think that, though, if he actually was positive in that instance of a game. I know, and granted, he just won the World Series, and we'll never know the feeling of winning a World Series, but don't you think he would have stayed in the locker room if, in fact, he was positive? Like, I'm with you. The only way that you're going to get out of this if this thing was a false positive.
Man, it's a tough – I mean, it's such a – you could imagine in his mindset here. And everything that I know about Justin Turner is somebody that you can really get with. I mean, this guy was a minor league free agent when he signed with the Dodgers like 8 years ago. He had already been given up on by his original organization. And he's likable. He's really likable. But for a guy that had been with the Dodgers for 8 years to be confined to a room and have to celebrate by yourself – I can understand why you would want to get out. Yeah, I mean, you can look at it both ways here. You really can. But to me, that's not the overarching aspect of what happened last night. There's a lot to get to with this World Series championship. And, of course, we got a lot of Arkansas football to talk. We're halfway through game week. You got big game Saturday against A&M, and the line continues to lean towards A&M. They gained a point on the favorite as the favorite on some of the Vegas books, now up to 12.5 on some of the services I was looking at. So we'll talk about that with Clay Henry at 12:30 or 11:30. Bill King joining us 12:30. So lots to get to involving Arkansas and the SEC, and you've had a first cancellation for a Big Ten game with Wisconsin coming down with a number of positive tests. So and that could really ruin them for the next 3 weeks. The Big Ten has a 3-week quarantine, or at least 3 weeks that a player or a coach cannot be involved with team activities once they test positive. So one positive test can do you in for 2 to 3 games. So that'll be something interesting to see later on here. But I want to hit on this World Series stuff. Obviously, we'll get to the decision of removing Blake Snell, which Kevin Cash was roundly criticized for. It's very easy to criticize when the game is over, and the decision obviously did not work out. But I'm going to point out a way that 3 weeks before, in the first game of the wild card round, that Cash did the exact same thing with the same pitcher in practically the exact same situation by pulling a dominant Blake Snell in the 6th inning after facing, well, it was 18 batters yesterday. It was 19 batters in the first game of the wild card against Toronto. This is just a manager that was too stuck to a formula for this specific pitcher. So here's why Kevin Cash pulls Blake Snell. This is his explanation.
The only motive was that the lineup the Dodgers feature is as potent as any team in the league. Personally, I felt Blake had done his job and then some. Mookie coming around for the 3rd time through. I value that. I totally respect and understand the questions that come with it. Blake gave us every opportunity to win. He was outstanding. They're not easy decisions, and that's where I came to the decision. I felt it was best after the guy got on base. Barnes hit the single. Didn't want Mookie or Seager seeing Blake a 3rd time. And
here's Blake Snell and what he thought he had in the tank.
For me is I was rolling. I was in a groove. I just really felt dominant, and I felt like I had them guessing, and, it's just tough for me, man. It's going to be tough for me for a while to, accept that and accept, losing the World Series. It's a lot, man. I don't really know how to look at it. It's just, it sucks. And whatever way you look at it, we lost. So if I would have stayed out there and we lost. So losing sucks.
So Snell last night, if you watch the game, had an amazing fastball. He generated a lot of swings and misses on the fastball. He had pinpoint control, did not need to use much else. So just look at some of the numbers here that I dug into this morning. Last night, Snell faced 18 batters through 73 pitches, generated 16 swinging strikes, only 2 base runners allowed, and then was pulled with a 1-0 lead for Nick Anderson. In the first game of the wild card against Toronto, Snell had faced 19 batters. He threw 82 pitches. He generated 18 swinging strikes, 3 base runners allowed, and he was pulled in the 6th inning with a 1-0 lead. The difference is the bullpen held on to that one, and they did not yesterday. So Cash had already followed the exact same formula, almost to a T, in a game that they'd won. So you really can't blame him at that point for following the same formula on a day where earlier in the afternoon he had said he's going to use his quote-unquote stable of relievers, which is one of the reasons the Rays were so good this year. They didn't have a top-notch lineup. Their starting pitching was good, but they really won their games on the stable, on the bullpen, on holding leads. And it just didn't work last night. This Anderson last night, he throws this wild pitch to bring in the tying run. He hadn't thrown a wild pitch for the entire regular season. He did once in the postseason. He wasn't as good in the postseason as he was in the regular season. And again, I'm not trying to say, let me retract here for a moment. It's very easy to criticize a decision that was obviously wrong when you look at it after the fact. But these managers, and Dave Roberts was criticized for the same sort of stuff the last few years. The idea is just because a decision did not work out doesn't mean it was the wrong decision. These are quick decisions that professionals are paid to make. They make these decisions for good reasons. I know I'm sounding like I'm defending Cash's decision. I would have stuck with Snell because the guy was absolutely dominant. I mean, you say you're going to go through the lineup a third time. The top 3 hitters in the Dodgers lineup didn't even make contact in the first 2 at-bats. So what's to say that even if they see him a third time, they're going to make any contact at all? I just wanted to point out, it's so easy to criticize a manager after a heart-wrenching loss like that. But this is the way the Rays had played all season long. Cash was just doing what he had done all year.
In my opinion, I get doing it in the regular season if you pull him before the third round of hitters, but you're in the World Series, you're in an elimination game, and if you've got an arm that is throwing as well as he was at that point, that shouldn't even have crossed your mind. Analytics aside of the whole thing, that's just me, and I'm not a baseball coach, and you're more of the baseball savant than me. It just seems to me when you're in that scenario, an elimination game, and you have to win to force a Game 7, you need to go with your strongest bet.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is a case of being too stuck to the formula for the specific pitcher.
It's easy to say that now.
It is, but he never let Snell get through a lineup a third time. Barely even let him try to get through it a third time. He hadn't even completed 6 innings at all this season. So, I mean, I think I can understand why Cash did it. Did it work out? No. I mean, it was the wrong decision? Not necessarily. Come back after this, more World Series talk, some Razorback football on halftime.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
Your home for every Razorback football game.
College to midfield, the 40, the 30, College at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, to the pylon. Touchdown, Arkansas!
As you can tell, this means a lot,
Only on ESPN 95.3.
Month of October, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax. That's right, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax for the month of October.
We also offer in-store no-credit check financing, delivery service, and service after the sale. At Frankfurt Furniture, we are family-owned, and we pride ourselves in carrying as many made-in-the-USA products as possible.
Remember, in October, no sales tax at Frankfurt Furniture, your made-in-the-USA headquarters. Frankfurt Furniture, best seats in the house.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is Pastor Heath from Woodland. I know some of these ads make you glad, but most probably make you mad. The reason is people believe the lie that heals is better than the truth that hurts. Our purpose at Woodland is to risk the hurt by exposing the lies so you can be wise unto salvation. If you'd like to know more, check out our website, woodlandpeople.church. There you can download our app and listen to our podcast. That's woodlandpeople.church.
If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunity, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, this is David Owen with Ouachita Farms. We grow hemp in Central Arkansas and process it into full-spectrum CBD products. Ouachita Farms products are affordably priced and available online or conveniently located at nearly 200 stores across the state. All Ouachita Farms CBD products are tested at C-Pill Labs in Little Rock to ensure that you will always get what you expect. Find us online today and use this code at checkout.
Ouachita Farms! Go to ouachitafarms.com and use code WPS15 at checkout of your purchase.
Hello, sports fans. I know you are ready for sports to return. Hi, this is Sherry Traylor. with Floyd Trailer Honda, and we have been proud to be your local hometown dealer for over 43 years. Come out and see us at 3200 South Zero Street and see all of our models we have in stock. Or give us a call at 479-434-5975. And you can check out our full inventory online at trailerhonda.net. And remember to please buy local.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
Burks comes in motion out of the pistol formation. Franks eludes the pressure, rolling left, got a man. Burks at the 20, trailing to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas! Traylon Burks, 49 yards, his first touchdown as a Razorback.
Want more Halftime? Make sure to listen to the Halftime Pod, presented by Jeff's Clubhouse, Fort Smith's premier place for lunch, brunch, and catering. Give them a call at 479-308-9123. The Halftime Pod is available on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
I'm trying to piece here after the Dodgers win this World Series in 1988. What team that has actually won a World Championship has now gone the longest without one? Would it be my Pirates in 79? That's the last World Championship. I mean, it'd take a while to rack my brain here and figure it out, but it's got to be close.
I'll see if I can find it for
close. You. No, don't worry about it. I don't. If
well,
it is the Pirates, I don't need
I'm curious now,
any more reason to be depressed about it, to be honest. The Dodgers, by the way, this isn't going to be their only World Championship with this group. I don't think it is. Look at the ages for some of their stars here. And they just got Betts for, the next 10 years. Mookie Betts is 27. Shortstop Corey Seager, the MVP of the World Series and the LCS, which is a rare feat to be the MVP in both rounds. Seager's 26. First baseman Max Muncy is 29. Cody Bellinger, 24 years of age. The catcher Will Smith is 25. Jock Peterson, who's probably not going to be with the Dodgers much longer, is 28. Walker Buehler is 25. The big redhead, Dustin May, 22. The kid who closed the game last night, Julio Urias, is 23, and he's going to be a dominant starting pitcher. The Goose, Gonsolin, 25 years old. You saw that right-hander out of the pen, Brusdar Graterol, throwing 101. He's 21 years old. Don't tell me Clayton Kershaw's over the hill either at 32, because he was pretty damn good in the postseason. Had himself a great regular season. Dave Roberts as the skipper. This team is set for years with the money that they are able to make just being in Los Angeles, being the Dodgers and that ownership group. You may end up seeing the start of a dynasty here, to be quite honest. I mean, you've got pop up and down the lineup. This is no longer a team that just has to hit home runs to score. I mean, Mookie Betts affects the game in so many ways, just running the bases, for crying out loud. And they've got it in the bullpen. They've got youth and talent in the starting rotation. I mean, I'm not going to look ahead to whatever next year is, but I'm just here to tell you that this is. I know the Dodgers have had this 8-year run of NL West championships, and now this is the only World Championship out of that time frame. But this isn't going to be the only one. I mean, they'll win 2, 3, maybe 4. I think this is the makings of a truly great team.
Surely seems like
that. It really started a couple years ago, to be honest. 8 years ago, to be honest.
So you just brought up the Pirates. I found this real quick. The Pirates are actually 6th on the list as far as World Series droughts since 1980, or what you just brought up, 79. The most recent one, who's number? It's not the Pirates. Do you have a guess?
A team that's actually won a World Championship.
Won a World since their last World Championship, World Series. Well, it's been 72 years.
72 years. Wouldn't be the Braves. Wouldn't be. Oh, goodness gracious here. I'm really glad to know that there's another team out there that's been.
There's 5 teams ahead of the Pirates, if that makes you feel any better. 72 years. It is the Cleveland Indians, not
well,
Team
that would
49.
Be right, yeah.
Cleveland Indians are 1. The Rangers at 2. It's 60
Rangers
years.
have never won. I was talking teams that actually won. The Rangers have never won a World Championship.
Okay. They listed here with Rangers, Brewers, Padres, Mariners, and then your Pirates.
Okay, so then the only one that's actually won a World Championship with a streak longer than Pittsburgh is Cleveland.
Yep.
Nice to be a Rust Belt city with a baseball team.
Hey, at least you got one.
Good point. That's a good point.
You're not as long-suffering as the Indians are right now.
JT wanted to know about what would Billy Martin have done yesterday with the quote-unquote analytics. Billy Martin also was a guy that thought outside the box the way he wanted his teams to run the bases. You remember Billy Ball? I mean, I don't know if that was based on analytics or just based on the thought you want to put pressure on the defense and have fast guys on the bases. But I don't know. I think Billy Martin, you can't transport what Martin was like as a manager in the 70s and the 80s and say, well, what would he be like today? I don't know if he would have been hired today. Billy Martin today would be able to speak the language that analytics guys speak. So I also think that Billy Martin might have been drunk in the dugout and he would have slugged the pitching coach after he's the one who makes the decision to take out your starting pitcher. Text out of the 501, Blake Trinan. Yeah, Blake, do we remember Blake Trinan?
That name sounds
awfully
Arkansas?
Familiar. Was he at Arkansas? This text says Van Horn didn't give him a chance at Arkansas, so I didn't know about that. That would have been the first time I've heard of it. So let's see. World Series is over. I'm bummed. But it was a great series, and I just thought it was a successful year because baseball made it to the end of the World Series.
Yeah, considering everything that was going on this year, I mean, and hell, it didn't even last a weekend, and then with that first weekend when the Miami Marlins almost threw everything up into haywire. So kudos to them for getting it done. Kudos to the players for buying in and really getting it done. And to me, and I know I'm not the baseball savant or anything, but I enjoyed the 60-game sprint because it made every game felt like it mattered more rather than branching this thing out over 150 games. That's just me. And maybe moving forward, you split it right down the middle and just say 89 or 90 or something like that. It just felt like every game mattered for every team, whether or not A, to play, but B, you win or lose, you better get this thing done because your playoff hopes are rising on it.
I hope I never see another baseball season like we just saw. I hope it's never done like this again. I hope. So
would you prefer like the 160 game?
Not 162 games, or bring it down to 154 the way it was before. There's
so
no need to totally rework the schedule.
That's fine. But why play 162 games? And I'm not asking I'm not trying to piss you off or anything. I'm more curious from my standpoint. I was like, why play a 162 game schedule just from?
Well, for one, I mean, you have to look at it from a business aspect.
Fair.
The business aspect says that the body can actually handle playing that many baseball games over a certain amount of time. You can't handle that physically. Basketball, hockey, football, baseball doesn't take that kind of
physicality.
Of effort.
Yeah.
So you can maximize that for business purposes as well. And then the nature of baseball is it's a series-based sport. It's not a single game-based sport. And this is one of the reasons why this regular season, I think, was constructed the way it was. You don't know who the better teams are after just 60 games. There's too much evidence that a 60-game stretch does not really show that this is a good team. It just means they were good for a short period of time. That's all you had to play this year, so that's what you could do. But over the course of 5 to 6 months, that's how you can tell, how a team is constructed. That the depth of it and everything. I think those two reasons together. And I have a feeling that the business aspect and the fact that the body can take it is also another reason why. You're just not going to make as much money, too, playing an 80-game season.
That, too, and everything comes down to finances at some point in this conversation, which I agree. I mean, it is what it is. I think it seems like baseball loses its luster after like 125 games or so, and that just may be me.
For some teams, it really does. That's true.
And if you're the Pittsburgh Pirates or something, I'm not trying to pick on them, but if you're the bottom feeder of the NL East,
pick on them. Please.
Well, that's fine because you're going to ruin my life this Friday anyway. Hint, hint. You might want to tune in this coming Friday on halftime. I'm not going to say any more about that, but you might like what we've got planned.
It's called leaning into a bad team when it's your team that's really, really bad.
Well,
just lean into it sometimes. I tried to do that the last 2 years with Arkansas football. What team is the most difficult to watch in the NFL? We'll talk about that on Friday.
Boy, that's a spoiler.
Right.
But it'll be fun. It just seems to me and from a fan's perspective too, once you get to about that 125th game or something, good God Almighty, it's just
it's true.
So I mean, maybe you're right. I agree where you're coming from, where it's like the financial aspect of it, and you're able to do more with teams. But to me, it seems like if you crank this thing down to 125 or something, at least the visibility of it from like a regular fan like myself perspective, you don't just get bored of it eventually. I don't know.
I'm on the opposite end of you. More is better for someone like me. Maybe
That's fair.
Better
and
for
you're a much bigger baseball fan than me. I enjoy it. Trust me. And I've really grown to enjoy it over the past 4 or 5 years in college, and especially now working with you. You're grooming me. We'll put it like that. Hell, a year from now, you're probably going to be able to get me from not watching baseball.
Good. Then I'll consider myself a job well done. We got a text in from the 501. I heard the guys this morning talking about Aggie jokes.
Yeah, that was
Jeremiah says he's got a very simple Aggie joke, and it's just Chad Morris.
We'll see if we can.
He is a grad, right? He is a grad of Texas A&M. He's got that ring.
And the gentleman we got coming up next, Clay Henry. I know he had several good Aggie jokes this morning. Maybe we can get him to share a few with us.
You know, the combination of Clay Henry with anything involving Texas usually involves some pretty good jokes. Hey, if you own a business that needs more security, call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. They'll help you with a fence that doesn't just provide more security, but it looks good. Get that business a little more curb appeal to, make it more appealing to the eye. That's what a new fence from the Fence Man can do for you. The number's 479-782-3936. Call the Fence Man. They'll come over for a quick, no-obligations quote. Been doing it for over 40 years. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man is a division of Quantum Property Services. Clay Henry next on Halftime. Stay tuned.
Build your business with 100% fiber, internet, voice, and cloud services from Ritter Communications. Whether you're a one-man woodworking shop who needs fast, reliable internet complete with TV service, or you're a construction enterprise needing managed voice and networking to connect your multiple sites, our helpful, Arkansas-based team will create a custom solution for you. Visit RitterBusiness.com or give them a call at 888-336-4249 to learn more.
It could be a routine drive to pick up the kids after school or an epic road trip across the country. No matter where your travels take you, we know those miles count. We're Marathon. We have over 5,700 stations across our great nation. Our people are working hard every day to provide you with quality top-tier gasoline to improve engine performance and fuel your life. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
I'm Steve Womack, a candidate for Congress, and I approve this message because I know what's important to the greater Fort Smith region. In this election, who understands the issues affecting the River Valley more? Consider what I've done as your congressman, securing funding for the Marshals Museum, fighting for improvements to the Arkansas River Navigation System, advocating for more funding for I-49, my work to bring new missions to the 188. I was there during the flood of 19, helping Valley residents through that hardship, helping the city navigate the federal bureaucracies on matters of jobs and economic development, and I recently took the city's consent decree case to a higher level for relief. I believe in the Fort Smith region. I've had a consistent and reliable presence in the Valley since going to Congress. So when you vote, ask yourself, on matters involving your hometown, who not only understands, but delivers. I'm Steve Womack. Fighting for the issues important to the Valley is what I do. Paid for by Womack for Congress.
Do you have sleep apnea? Are you tired of dealing with a CPAP every night? The noise, the constant cleaning, your wife telling you she can't take the noise anymore. Dr. Bo Sparkman at Family Dental Care of Fort Smith can help you with sleep apnea with a custom dental appliance that allows you to get rid of that annoying CPAP. Dr. Sparkman has years of experience and has treated hundreds of patients just like you. Call for your appointment today, 785-1419. That's 785-1419. Get rid of your CPAP with Family Dental Care of Fort Smith.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources. I'm shocked it's October already. This year's gone by so fast it's scary. Now I'm afraid I'm not going to hit my goals. So I'm rolling out my most shocking deals yet. It's my Shocktober sales event. Swap your current car for one of our Rath Road Ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center, and priced to save you money. So dump that pumpkin that's haunting your driveway. Trade and save on a nicer, newer car today. Are past credit problems keeping you up at night? Don't be scared. My For the People credit approval process is a treat, and our friendly, non-commissioned sales staff can help you get the nicer, newer car you want at a price and payment that fits your budget. Keeping the car you have? Let us get it ready for fall in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes, buy 3, get 1 free on all tires, or call ahead and set up your free winter-ready inspection. It's the Shocktober sales event, only in Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Hey, this is Ed with Ed Walker's Drive-In. For more than 70 years, Ed Walker's has been the place to go for the best French dips and hand-patted hamburgers in town. Blue Plate Specials served Monday through Friday, and we're still the home of Fort Smith's only 5-pound hamburger. We're open 10 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week. Call ahead for pickup, 783-3352. Ed Walker's Drive-In, 1500 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, where the legend lives on.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
It's Warren. Devion at the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas. Devion, Warren on the screen, and the Hogs are right back in it.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP, at Matt Travis, and at Matt Jenkins 44.
Back on Halftime at 11:30 on a Wednesday, we bring on Clay Henry, the editor and publisher, Hogs Illustrated, also reading him at Whole Hog Sports, joining us up by the North Fork River this morning. Hi, Clay. What's going on?
It's good to be with y'all. I'm ready to talk some Texas A&M, right?
That's right, Texas
I
A&M.
did Aggie jokes for an hour and a half this morning, so I'm tapped out on Aggie jokes.
Darn it. I feel like I just talked to you, Clay. I'm not sure. I feel like I was hanging out with you for a lot the past 2 days.
At some point, we did talk in the last 2 days.
One of the things that I
yeah.
always take this when I think about Texas A&M. Dave Van Horn had an option to go to one of 2 Southwestern Conference schools after he was leaving McLennan Community College, and one was Arkansas, the other was Texas A&M. And all I need to know about Texas A&M is Dave would look at you and say, "I don't think I could have gone there." That to me sets it up perfectly. And hey, Arkansas baseball is a lot better for that.
Yeah, the Aggie culture from afar looks like it's too much for me, and it's everyone that goes through that and comes out of that culture. They're just different. I mean, they're shaped different. They act different. They now just get this first of all.
What's the shape? What's the shape of a Texas A&M grad compared to anyone else?
It's upside down. It's backwards. They're engineering school. They have other majors, but they produce engineers. And if you've ever been around an engineer, they do things backwards, guys. It's like they don't start with the question. They start with the answer, and then they try to figure out what's the question that matches this answer. And, John White, who was chancellor at Arkansas, was an engineer, and that's exactly how he thought. And that, when you're in construction and doing mechanical engineering, that's a good way to be. But, I'm talking about, like when you just take a drive down the road, you're just like, well, we're already there. We want to know how we got back to our house first. I was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? We're just going to get in the car and go. No, I want to know about the trip home, how that's going to. So I'm just telling you they're different. And it's not bad, but just every time you're around an engineer, just realize they're not thinking the same way you think. And that's what comes out of that culture down there, and you be ready for it when you get there, and just know that's the way they are. Now, I will say this, Ty one day he wanted me to go through how much I hate the Aggies or whatever. I don't have any. First of all, Arkansas until the last 8 years has routinely smoked them. I mean, they beat some of their great teams too and broke their heart. So of the series is completely different from the history of the Texas series and their fans. Now, they're full of themselves, but it's not it's not the same arrogance that, say, University of Texas fans have. And I know some great people, they're Texas A&M fans and what I would call, true Aggies.
Yeah.
And they're not bad people. They're different.
They're just like the rest of us. They'll do the horns down, But let's think
yeah.
about this upcoming game then as an engineer. Let's get into the mind of an Aggie fan and start with the answer. Arkansas wins. The equation is, how do they do it? Is this really a game that Arkansas has to establish the run? Have they not been able to do that yet?
No, not so much they have to do that. The key is they have to stop the run. And it's, the background of these first few games has been they have to stop the pass. And the Aggies don't really – this is not a team that requires passing anymore. They want to run the ball, and then once they establish the run, they're going to hurt you with some play-action passing. And it's very much Brett Bielema ball is what they're playing. And if you have to bring too many in the box, they're going to make you pay. So you have to, the running back Spillers is really good, but those offensive guards in that center are terrific, and they can pound on you. Both those guards are 335, and they may be bigger than that. That may be their program weight. And this is a physical, strong offensive line, and they only made 89 yards rushing last year against Arkansas. Arkansas made 98. If those numbers are similar to that, it's in Arkansas's, it's in their wheelhouse. But because I think that's enough to where Franks can pass a little bit off of that. But I don't see their receivers are not what they were 2 and 3 and 4 years ago. Their receivers were really good at one point, but their strength is now. Because it's play action, you can't load up to rush, Mond. So when he passes, it is with a great pocket, and the numbers suit him as far as protection. They've been sacked twice, and it was both in the first half of the Vanderbilt game. No one else has sacked him. So, you can say, well, the key is to get some sacks in. Well, no, I think that's probably going to be the kind of Arkansas is not going to have success there. You got to stop the run. That's what this is. It isn't about rushing the passer.
So we're speaking to Clay Henry here on halftime. So Clay, when you've seen defensively from this team, speaking on the Razorbacks, you've seen a lot of 3 down linemen and 8 out in coverage, running a lot of zone. Do you think it's as simple as just almost doing the mirror opposite and putting 5 or 6 down on the line and running 5 out, or like 5 in and 6 out, running some man? Or what defensive lineman do you think Barry Odom's going to go with here to try to slow down this rushing attack?
I don't really know, but I think what I've seen him do in the past is he's going to bring safeties into the box. And he did that the last 2 weeks to stop the run. If you'll notice, Fouché played like an outside linebacker, and especially on 3rd down and what he viewed were running downs, he brought Fouché almost up like a defensive end. He was on the line. So they're going to have to play more guys up, but I'm not sure that it means bring in Xavier Kelly and have another guy. I'm interested to see if this is the week we finally see Dorian Gerald, because he can play, as a 4th defensive end. But I don't see Arkansas suddenly playing playing another guy more. First of all, it changes their rotation, and they'll be worn down at some point if those guys have to play every snap, and you just play. You take a guy out of the rotation and you play him more. Well, that's I think Arkansas has benefited from taking 3 guys, 3 positions, and playing, say, 5. Well, all at once, if you're playing 4 and you play 5, then those guys aren't getting as much rest.
Let's flip it on the other side of the ball and look at the Razorback offense, particularly Traylon Smith and Rakeem Boyd against this Texas A&M defensive front. A defensive front that's only allowed about 80 yards a game rushing. Now, granted, they haven't played the most, quote-unquote, teams that'll really run the football on you, but do you think Arkansas can find success running the football this week? Because like you just said, if we can win the rushing battle, Arkansas is going to be in good shape. I just don't know which way you go if you're Arkansas. You're going to go with your senior leader, Rakeem Boyd, or Traylon Smith, who's been pretty successful so far this season.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna win the rushing back. I think Texas A&M is going to have more rushing yards because I think that's going to be their focus. I don't think it'll be a game like last year where A&M ran it 33 times, Arkansas ran it 26. Well, I think A&M is going to want to run it 40 times or 45 times, and I think Arkansas will want to throw more than it runs. But they have to make Texas A&M keep that guy in the box. And Boyd hasn't been himself. At least he wasn't last week. I expect him to be a little bit better, and I think he'll start. But, Traylon Smith is a guy that's been effective, especially in the passing game. If you can – what I've seen Kendall Briles do with Traylon Smith is find a linebacker and work him to that side and throw the ball. The Georgia game was the only one I saw this year where they couldn't get the advantage of the running back against the linebacker and make plays. But that was what happened at Auburn, and it has happened to some degree both at Mississippi State and 2 weeks ago against Ole Miss. So those guys have to be effective both in the running games and the passing game, and the screens have not gotten going. And that is a big part of the Briles offense. And you've seen, of course, Boyd dropped one that probably would have clinched the game against Ole Miss. And that is a play to watch in this week if they can get the screen game going.
Yeah, you make a really good point about the screens because I thought that would be an area where both Smith and Boyd – with the receiver, there's some of the big body receivers getting out in front blocking. I thought there would be a lot more of that, but it's not. You haven't even seen it called too often. So I've been surprised by it, and I agree with you. I think that's an aspect to really get the offense going on Saturday against Texas A&M.
Yeah,
Let me just ask this too, but
yep. Traylon Burks could be a screen guy too. But go ahead, Phil. Yeah,
think so.
Yeah.
What would a win over A&M mean? You've already seen 2 long streaks come to an end. The fan base right now has some belief in this program in ways that they haven't in a long time. So, a win over Texas A&M would be, it would be symbolic in so many ways. It would be a weight off this program's chest. You've already had a ton of weights pulled off of it.
Well, the first thing that'll happen is Arkansas will jump into the polls. They would have with the victory at Auburn, and they certainly will if they win at College Station. And they're poised to really make some hay in recruiting if they can jump into the polls with a victory in College Station. And I think that that it'll help Sam Pittman kind of close out what looks like a decent recruiting class to put the finishing touches. And it may make him make some decisions. They've talked about holding some spots open in recruiting for transfers. There's going to be graduate transfers, and there's going to be transfers because of COVID with relaxed rules. But he might decide to take 4 or 5 high school players that are really rated higher than the rest of the guys in this class if they get on a run down the stretch. And this would be the first of those. If they can win this game, the only game the rest of the way that I say Arkansas would be not a favorite would probably be Alabama. They're going to be favored in a lot of games if they're suddenly 3-2 with this victory. Yeah, things will be really interesting and entertaining down the stretch.
It certainly will. And I just know the idea, and we'll go to the break here in a moment. The idea of a year ago, I'd never wanted to watch Arkansas play on Saturday, but I had to because we were hosting the show and we would do the post-game thing and everything, and now it's like, wow, I can't wait until Saturday. This is going to be fun. It's like things have totally changed, and it's so exciting.
Yeah, I get here's something to think about. My daughter watched the Ole Miss game with a family that has some small children, and I think that there's a son that's 9, and he sat in front of the big screen TV, just sat, on his haunches, just sat down there in front of everybody and did not move for 3+ hours. And when it was over, turned around and told his daddy, that was fun. And then his dad says, yeah, it really was. And he says, Daddy, and this is really brilliant stuff for a 9. He says, I'm 9. This is the first time the Razorbacks have been fun. Just think about that. His whole lifetime, it has not been fun. He had no interest in watching, but he did that game. And that's what's happening around our state. And it's a turning point. And you think it doesn't matter? It matters to Sam Pittman if the kids are suddenly, geared up and revved up to be Razorbacks. And that's the way it was. You didn't worry about anybody coming to get your players in state because they grew up to be Razorbacks. They were Hudson Clark and they were Grant Morgan. Not all of them, though. Now, but you got a chance to add a few to those, and it'll make a difference.
Clay, you want to stick around for the last segment? We got a couple of nominees for an Alexander Dumas of the week, so maybe we can have some fun with that stuff.
Okay.
Hey, don't forget about Ouachita Farms. This is a state-licensed cannabis farm, processor, and seed labeler right there in Hot Springs Village that makes products, a full spectrum of products, at nearly 200 stores across Arkansas. These are CBD products by Ouachita Farms made from 100% USA-grown hemp. They're small batches. Lab results are verified and published right there on the website. That's ouachitafarms.com. You can see all of their products and make purchases there as well. Make sure you use the code WPS15 at checkout. Plus, if you're in Central Arkansas, go get a look at their tasting room at 3958 Highway 7 North in Hot Springs Village. That's ouachitafarms.com. Read David Owen's personal experience using plant-based products and how they've helped his life. ouachitafarms.com, the code WPS15 at checkout, and we're back with Clay Henry after this.
The River Valley's newest pizza parlor is now open at Heritage Village on Chad Colley Boulevard in Chaffee Crossing. Featuring a 22 pizza buffet and their legendary salad bar, which is available 7 days a week, Pizza Parlor has a spacious dining room with 8 big screen TVs and outdoor dining with 2 more big screen TVs, so you won't miss any of the big game. Pizza Parlor at Heritage Village in Chaffee Crossing is open now 11 to 11 Sunday through Thursday until midnight on Friday and Saturday.
Are your real estate investments being properly managed? Are you sending a check or cashing a check each month? If you're tired of your current property managers, then call Trinity Multifamily. Trinity will qualify your tenants and leases, inspect your properties, and take care of maintenance and provide you with web-based access to current financial reports, leases, and pictures of your property. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Breen RV in Van Buren is having their last sale of the year. Despite COVID-19's best effort, we are still getting in new trailers in weekly, and they are marked down as soon as they hit the lot. Browse Breen RV's selection of Forest River, Dutchman, Thor, and Coachman products and pick out the best fit for you. You can buy with ease knowing that your new purchase comes with free maintenance for life. Once you're ready to hibernate for the winter, bring your camper into us for deluxe winterization specials starting at just $99. Breen RV will work on all makes and models, and don't forget that all their accessories are installed for free. The Breen RV Center in Van Buren, your friends in the RV business.
Frank Furniture 6-day sale only, November the 2nd through November the 7th. For instance, this leather sofa Love with powered recliners and powered headrests, regularly $3,600, finance price $29.93, cash price $27.44. Large sectional with ottoman, regular $31.05, finance price $25.57, cash price $23.44. All furniture, bedroom furniture on sale. Don't miss out. 6 days only at Frank Furniture. Best seats in the house.
Are you ready to take the next step? Want to make real money? How about averaging $2,800 per week? United Welding Institute is accepting new students to shape into high-paid career welders. Graduates of United Welding Institute find great-paying jobs in the oil field, power plants, refineries, pipelines, and more. United Welding Institute in Pottsville, Arkansas has been training professional field-tested welders since 2013. Change your life and call 479-968-3390 or visit UnitedWeldingInstitute.com.
Winter is just around the corner. At AOG, we realize some customers are facing new challenges because of the pandemic. We're here to help. Our customer service team can offer you a wide array of payment options or direct you to utility payment assistance agencies in your area for help. Please call us at 1-800-842-5690 or visit AOGC.com. Thank you for being a valued AOG customer. We're all in this together.
Hertz Car Sales has been serving the River Valley for over 40 years and takes pride in offering exceptional service. Whether you're looking for a car, truck, crossover, or SUV, Hertz offers a big selection of the most popular brands. They're friendly, offer a no-pressure car shopping experience, and their vehicles are high quality and priced competitively. New inventory is arriving daily and trade-ins are always welcome. So make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard, give them a call at 783-1722, or check out their line of quality pre-owned vehicles at buyfromhertz.com.
This is Brett Good, former Razorback and Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers. Everyone loves to be on a winning team. That is why I have joined Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions. Henderson Phillips can help you tackle all your employee benefit, health insurance, and staffing management solutions. Plus, I can help you with any commercial or personal insurance need. Come join my team at Henderson Phillips. Call me, Brett Good, at 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
Corral is in the gun. Boucher creeping up to the line on the other side. Now he drops back. Corral's going to throw. Short over the middle. Intercepted. Grant Morgan at the 20. Morgan to the 10-yard line. To the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas. Grant Morgan with a nifty move at the 5-yard line. And the Razorbacks score.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Smackdown.
All right, a little more time here with Clay Henry. And, of course, we will also do an Alexander Dumas of the Week. Got to make up for last week since we didn't have one.
Yeah.
Clay, before we get into that, we have Bill King coming on later. And I just kind of wondered about this because he's got this reputation of being a quarterback whisperer. Got the national title at Florida State. How good of a coach do you think Jimbo Fisher is? Is he overrated? Is he right about what people think he is? Or is this the idea that because he's at Texas A&M and in the SEC West and you got an LSU and you got Alabama and all that he's just doing what any other coach would do? But I wonder what you think about how Jimbo Fisher is as a head coach.
Yeah, first of all, I want to go back and let's talk about what his teams at Florida State were. And
okay.
I contend – and when they really had it rolling, they had a defense that was completely comprised of first-round picks. They were good at the defensive line, they were good at linebacker, and they were really good in the secondary. And it was that really changes everything. You can do whatever you want at quarterback if the other team gets 0. I mean, if at the end of the game they got 0 points at 3 points, you can throw it around, you can go for it on 4th down, you can run fake punts because your defense is going to make all that, it's a moot point. They're not going to score. You can make mistakes. And I think that they have not been like that at Texas A&M. They've had some good players, but they are not just water moccasins all the way across on the defensive line. And, I mean, a water moccasin to me is a feared thing. I mean, you just, like, who are you going to block? Well, you can't block them all, but that's what they've got. You've got to block every one of them. And that's what they had at Florida State. And if you go back, they had Jameis Winston, but it's, some of those other guys, they didn't do well in the NFL. They were just average guys, but they were so talented that they just, they just rolled. And can he replicate that at Texas A&M? It's a different environment, and I think that Texas high school football is good, but Florida football, South Florida and the Panhandle where he was getting players, that might be better. And it's going to be interesting to watch. But I don't know if I'm answering your question about being a quarterback whisperer. I guess I would say that's overrated. It's what he did, but I think what made them good was their defensive coach. Was that Mickey Andrews? That was their defensive coordinator all those years, and it was just such a dynamite guy. I can't remember who that was coordinating their defense, but that's what made them really good. Is that they just overpowered you with defense, kind of like what some of those Miami teams did, and what what's going on at Clemson and Alabama right now.
Well, and, defensively, they're really good against the run this year, but you can throw against them. And I got to throw away the fact that Vanderbilt couldn't, because I don't think Vanderbilt could throw against a sixth-grade defense.
Agreed.
Maybe throw away Mississippi State because they're in such disarray. But Alabama, Florida, look, I understand. That's Kyle Trask, that's Mac Jones. They had a lot of success airing it out against the Aggies, and I have a sense that Arkansas can find success in the air against them too.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch the evolution of the Arkansas passing game, and I think in large part it's the Treylon Burks is a guy that you can find matchups, and then Devion Warren and Mike Woods have started to kind of establish themselves as good route runners, and it's kind of made Trey Knox the odd man out. But I think if you can run it a little bit, A&M will be vulnerable to the pass, and that's but the running the little bit part is easier said than done.
Yeah, at least have a little
with
bit
this
of a
offensive
threat of it.
line. Yeah, I think Arkansas is better in the secondary than they've been, and Mond has thrown interceptions in the past, not this year, but that would be something if you were A&M, or do you want to throw it into that secondary and have Catalan and Hudson Clark wreak some havoc, and then we'll find out how good a tackler Kellen Mond is.
That's a good point. That is a really good point. Well, any word on what's happened here with Trey Knox? I mean, he was barely on the field last week. We don't think there's an injury. Is this just a matter of other receivers are more productive?
Yeah, I think it's the same thing that got Jerry Jacobs, and Jerry Jacobs is like, man, I'm not going to sit on the bench, and Trey, just when he gets his chance, he has to be productive, and he's dropped some, and he hadn't got opened enough. And those other guys have, and that's the nature of competition. The best man wins, and it's Trey has some ability, but he's not real quick, and he's just not gotten open against press coverage, and that was happening last year, and we thought it was the hip injury, but maybe that's just a lack of quickness.
Yeah. Clay, always.
I'm not ready to say they're done. Yeah, I'm not ready to say they're done with Trey Knox, but he's got to make a move.
Well, it's at the halfway point of the season. He's got to make that move pretty soon. Clay, appreciate your time,
Thanks,
man.
Clay.
Have a great rest
You're
of the week.
welcome.
Talk
Always
about it
enjoy
next
it.
week.
You
Clay
bet.
Henry from Hogs Illustrated, and you can get with us for the next hour at 877-377-6963. The meat hooks of the one and only SmackDown coming up next as we are on the downslope to the weekend, which means the downslope to kickoff. Stay tuned.
In today at Randall Ford, where you'll find over 150 pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock. We have what you want at the price that will fit your budget. We have 35 certified pre-owns. We even have over 25 vehicles under $10,000 and no payment for 90 days. All used vehicles go through a 115-point safety inspection. Plus, we will deliver your new purchase right to your front door. Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue, or online 24/7 at randallford.com. Home of the lowest price guarantee.
When you've escaped the screens and the sun bathes everything in a golden glow, and your friend hands you a cold organic beer that tastes as perfect as nature itself, that's pure gold. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the first national USDA certified organic beer. Organic by nature. Enjoy responsibly. 2020 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, St. Louis, Missouri.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber internet, TV, and phone service to your home. Get amazingly fast fiber internet as low as $49.95 per month. TV packages start at $32.95. Fiber phone service starts at $29.95. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC to find out if we're installing in your area. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Come on into Buffalo Wild Wings and try our new fan favorites featuring our new cauliflower wings paired with our mouth-watering Zing Zang sauce. While you're here, reward yourself with Buffalo Wild Wings' new daily trivia while enjoying our fan favorite smoked brisket burger or southern chicken sandwich. Let your taste buds win and come on in to Buffalo Wild Wings, the best and only place to watch college football and the NFL. Celebrate your fantasy team winning on our wall-to-wall TVs. Locations in Little Rock, Fort Smith, Sherwood, Jonesboro, and Conway. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Very slight chance of seeing a shower or two, otherwise clouds tonight. And overnight low will drop down upper 30s north, mid 40s south. Showers and storms on the increase for Wednesday, are high in the mid to upper 50s. And then taking a peek at Thursday, 50-50 chance of showers. Highs will be in the mid to upper 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by OG&E Weatherization Program for Arkansas customers with homes at least 10 years old. Call 1-800-272-9741 for details or log on to OGE.com.
It's fast. It's exciting.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3.
These guys are awesome, baby. You have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas? Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
That's it.
You ain't heard that in a while on a Wednesday.
The last meat hooks we have for the football season.
I could feel the sound wave as you do that.
We're on the downslope. 5 hours left for halftime up until we get off the air at 1 o'clock on Friday. We only have 1 hour left here on this episode. So get with us at 877-377-6963. We got Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio in 29 minutes. We'll get his thoughts on Jimbo Fisher. He paid attention to Florida State for so long and still does.
Yeah.
And you've heard what Bill says about what was left behind by Fisher. Not much. And I don't think he's been all that impressed with him at Texas A&M. So we'll talk with him about that. Plus this idea that Trevor Lawrence threw out the idea that he may stick around for another season of college football.
Well, what would you do? Go play for Clemson or go play for the New York Jets?
Well, I'll tell you
or
what.
Or the Dallas Cowboys.
If the same coaching staff is in place with the Jet, which it won't be, but if Adam Gase was the head coach still, I'd say, you know what? I think I'll just go play bowling professionally.
I also want to get in with Bill King, all the drama and everything with Colin Hill and Mississippi State.
That's right. We haven't touched on that yet.
We hadn't touched on that yet. I mean, that's been the story of the day in the SEC, just with the meltdown that's being reported that he had during the previous game, and now he's opted out of the season. And
do you remember the things we said about him and about Mississippi State after that first week of the season? I will say, I was throwing caution out there. It's like, who is stupid enough to be making bandwagon videos after one freaking game? Well, it looked like Kylan Hill was a genius to not opt out and declare for the draft, because then he was able to show, at least through that first game, that he could catch the ball out of the backfield and do something with it in an air raid style offense. It didn't last very long at all. And I mean, how many players have announced they're transferring out from Mississippi State now? It's like the last one out. Make sure you close the door.
Yeah.
Leach said, what was it, a couple weeks ago? We've got a couple players that need to figure out whether they need to be here, something like that. It's been more than a couple that have opted out. So it's funny to look at the first-year head coach situation now. 5 weeks into these coaching tenures in the SEC.
I think we did all right with our coach.
Well, I think there couldn't be a fan base that's any happier than Arkansas when it comes to the first-year head coach hire. You know, Drinkwitz has done fairly well at Mizzou. I think they've got a couple of wins, right? Lane Kiffin 1-4 record, but they're
could easily be 2-3 right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they're ready to jump off the Lane train just yet. And maybe Mississippi State fans feel the same way, but there is a almost mass exodus out of that program now. They don't know who the quarterback's going to be. KJ Costello has ruined his chances to be a top draft choice in the NFL. The air raid is totally grounded.
Yeah.
So that right now looks like the worst first-year hire. But then again, you're not going to judge a coaching hire based upon the first 5 weeks. That's just a glance at it for right now.
You sure haven't heard from that Barstool Sports Brandon Walker was his name, trashing all the Arkansas fans.
Did he shut his thing down?
Well, you hadn't heard from him in a while.
No, not much at all. Not much at all.
We'll get Todd to check in on that.
Don't forget about Sam Pittman live tonight at the Catfish Hole. Chuck Barrett, Sam Pittman, Jalen Catalon will be the featured
That'll
player.
be a good conversation.
Absolutely. Redshirt freshman, strong safety, has been do-everything guy for Arkansas. So that's 7 o'clock on all these airwaves that you're listening on. I wonder if they'll talk at all about this deal with next year's game against A&M going to AT&T Stadium. You know how I feel about that. I'd much rather see the game on campus. If you're going to point to a new end zone project and trying to make money through the stadium in Fayetteville for the Little Rock game, pointed in that direction, do the same thing at the Texas A&M thing.
Absolutely.
And I understand there's a heavy presence of alumni in Dallas and Jerry Jones and all that. Do you really think they're going to give up their Razorback fandom, or Jerry Jones is going to be so pissed off that Arkansas decides they'd like to get a conference game on campus that he's not going to support them? It's not like the money's going to stop flowing, but the money will continue to flow to the businesses around Fayetteville and the Northwest Arkansas region with one more game on the schedule here at Razorback Stadium. Look, right. I mean, to me, it's the same argument against games in AT&T Stadium as it would be in Little Rock if you're talking about money. I don't know what kind of money they're making by having the game at AT&T, but it's not helping out the businesses around Fayetteville. A game against A&M in Fayetteville does. So
it's a tricky slope that the Razorbacks and that administration is in right now, because I mean, I get the anger that why if Texas A&M gets it at home, why doesn't Arkansas get it home? I think I'll just say you're almost over a year and a half away from this coming again, or over a year away from this happening. Who knows where we'll be a year from now? B, you're dealing with Jerry Jones, who, yes, A, he's the alumni. B, he's the owner of that stadium who's invested into this series. And you're checking that administration pretty much has their hand tied, because if you break the contract or break the friendship, for lack of better terms, with Jerry Jones, you've in turn lost one of your biggest donors for the university, potentially.
He's not going to stop writing checks.
Fair, but is it any more than what he does right now? So he's struggling just as much as anybody else. I mean, and now you look at it like this, where A&M's on the uptick. We certainly think Arkansas's on the uptick as far as being more competitive than they have been the past few years. And if you're Jerry Jones, from a business perspective, potentially next year's game could be pretty darn good. Just based off what you've seen right now, yes, A&M will lose Kellen Mond at the end of the season, and who knows what they'll look like. But from an Arkansas perspective, looking ahead, next season could be a pretty darn good Arkansas team just based off what we're seeing right now. So I get both sides of the argument. I get where he's coming from. It's a no-win situation for Arkansas as far as, yes, they want to get the game at Fayetteville, but they also want to keep one of their main donors happy.
But I don't understand why Hunter Yurachek, however long ago it was asked about this, and he commented that if A&M gets a game at home, then we'd expect to get the next year in Fayetteville. What changed? You know, what changed? Maybe did Jerry make a call? I don't know if that really is what it comes to. I think he's got bigger things to worry about than that one than this.
This has Jerry's footprint. This has Jerry's fingerprints written all over it.
His NFL team stinks to high heaven. I mean, I think that would be a little more important.
Well, according to him, everything's fine with the Dallas Cowboys right now, or at least that's what was on that radio show that he told the radio host to just shut up and let me answer the question and move on. Apparently, according to Jerry Jones, everything's fine down in Cowboy Nation right now.
He did apologize to the guys on the show after that. I think he really, hey, look, you think Jerry Jones can tell anybody he wants to, just shut up. But I don't know. I just don't think he would stop writing checks. I think it means a lot to have another game in Fayetteville for the businesses, for the campus itself. If we're worried about keeping alumni happy in Texas, can we just think about that for a moment? This is Arkansas. Let's make Arkansans happy in the state of Arkansas.
I'm on both sides of the argument because, yes, it would be great if this thing was in Fayetteville, but in my perspective, I spent 10 good years of my life every weekend that game happens. Me and my family go down there, and it's a weekend getaway for everybody. So
I've been there for it, too, and it's a great stadium. It's a
incredible atmosphere.
Yeah, but the other aspect of this is it was initially designed to just be a non-conference game. You know, and it isn't any longer. So I know you guys were talking about who could be a good matchup in Jerry World after this, Nebraska, Oklahoma, whatever. I don't know. I just don't think it's necessary to play a game in Jerry World every year for recruiting purposes. Does it help? Maybe. I don't really know. Anyway, I just think there's a lot of other. I think having the game in Fayetteville to me would make more sense. It would make more sense, too, if there was a seventh game of the World Series today. But for some reason, the Dodgers had to win it in 6. You could have gone, and you still could go, to Joe's Grill and Cantina because they have great specials for the non-existent 7th game of the World Series.
Well, let me see if I can perk your interest with this. Half price apps and taps.
I'm down.
Maddie, you down with half price apps and taps?
You've already got me.
Already got you. Now, yes, they've still got the great specials right now with the ballpark nachos, chili cheese fries, queso supreme. The beers are great. But Maddie's favorite is involved with half price apps and taps.
I like the brisket nachos. And on half price apps and taps Wednesdays, that makes it under $5.
Under $5 to get brisket, so you can't beat that.
I like it with extra jalapenos, too.
You're tougher than me. Anyway, that's a different argument for a different day. Head over to Joe's Grill and Cantina today. They've got an incredible lineup of menu. You can get the brisket nachos, great tacos, great everything over Joe's Grill and Cantina. You can find Joe's Grill and Cantina across from Harps in Fort Smith. Call it, place your order to go if you need to. Their number is 479-478-9600. That's Joe's Grill and Cantina.
All right, next segment, we've got the most heartbreaking statistical change in the history of football gambling and an Alexander Dumas of the week. Plus your calls and texts at 877-377-6963 on halftime.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
Your home for every Razorback football game.
College to midfield, the 40, the 30, College at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, to the pylon. Touchdown, Arkansas!
As you can tell, this means a lot, you know.
Only on ESPN 95.3.
Is your Arkansas home at least 10 years old and served by OG&E? OG&E is offering Arkansas customers a no-cost-to-you program to increase your comfort and lower your bills. A trained crew will perform an energy audit at no cost to you, and if your home qualifies, their crews will install measures that can include attic insulation, LED light bulbs, weather stripping, advanced power strips, smoke alarms, carbon monoxide detectors, and much more. The services provided through this program are at no cost to you for qualifying homes. If you or someone you know could benefit from home weatherization improvements, call OG&E today at 800-272-9741. That's 800-272-9741.
The biggest selection and the lowest prices on a new Buick are at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2020 Buick Encore has plenty of cargo space, and it's loaded with technology, only $19,995. And the 2020 Buick Envision has all the features and seating for 5. Take $9,000 off, only $28,985. The biggest selection and the lowest prices are at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Breen RV in Van Buren is having their last sale of the year. Despite COVID-19's best effort, we are still getting in new trailers in weekly, and they are marked down as soon as they hit the lot. Browse Breen RV's selection of Forest River, Dutchman, Thor, and Coachman products and pick out the best fit for you. You can buy with ease knowing that your new purchase comes with free maintenance for life. Once you're ready to hibernate for the winter, bring your camper into us for deluxe winterization specials starting at just $99. Breen RV will work on all makes and models, and don't forget that all their accessories are installed for free. The Breen RV Center in Van Buren, your friends in the RV business.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstar battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Someone infected with coronavirus can spread it without showing any symptoms. Wear a cloth or homemade face covering when you can't physically distance from others. This protects you and everyone around you. As normal activity resumes, wearing a face covering is necessary to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. Save lives. Stop the spread. Learn more at healthy.arkansas.gov and find suggested guidelines for face coverings you can easily make at home. This message brought to you by the Arkansas Department of Health.
Dee's Family Restaurant of Alma at 39 Column Lane across from the water park is now reopened and ready to serve you. We're open 5:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. Breakfast is served all day and our full menu is available at 10:30 a.m. All-you-can-eat steak on Thursday night, cooked order prime rib on Friday night, and now we deliver on Waiter. Curbside and to-go is still available. Call ahead 632-1014.
This is ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
They give it to Connor. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, and I don't think he got in. Greg Brooks hit him. The Razorbacks have held again.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Smackdown.
Okay, Bill King in about 15 minutes for a full conversation on SEC football. Might have to ask him about this situation in Wisconsin, too. See how long the Badgers might have to sit out here. Probably not just this game against Nebraska either. All right, got some stuff to get to here. I do have the most heartbreaking stat change that I've ever heard of in NFL history. But first, since we didn't do it last week, it's time for the Alexander Dumas of the week.
And I was wondering what Dumas would make of all this. Come again. Alexandre Dumas. He wrote The Three Musketeers.
Are you stupid or something?
Are you stupid? I don't think so, no. Did you eat a lot of paint chips when you were a kid?
Stupid is as stupid does, sir.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.
What was supposed to do, you moron?
Calm down. Have some dip.
Are you crazy or just plain stupid?
I'm as stupid as stupid does.
So you're a smart man who said some really stupid things.
Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas.
Dumas. You know what that's about?
We're talking about our idiot kicker who got liquored up and ran his mouth off.
just your intro making is just absolutely incredible. Let's just get that out in the open.
Appreciate that very much. Still working on the college degree for that sort of stuff. This out of Anderson County, Tennessee.
Okay.
I don't steal things anymore. I stole some candy bars as a kid, but I made sure I never left a piece of me behind so that anybody would have known it was me. So get a load of this. A stolen log splitter in Marlow community was reported to the Anderson County Sheriff's Office last Thursday. They found a severed finger, amongst other things, other tools, other items, and a cell phone that was reported to be found on the victim's property. Turned out that the thief had sliced his own finger off by stealing this log splitter. And it's that easy to find somebody when his finger has been severed and he goes to the hospital to get medical treatment. He went to the UT Medical Center in Knoxville. The Anderson County detective, Sean Flynn, met him there, bringing the severed finger with him. He was charged with felony theft of property, and I don't think that meant he stole his finger. That, to me, seems just a little bit stupid. Now, look, I don't steal tools. If I did, I probably wouldn't steal a really sharp tool. If I did steal a really sharp tool, I would make sure I didn't cut my finger off. If I did cut my finger off, I would go pick the freaking thing up and put it in my pocket and then run away with my stolen log splitter.
You almost have to try to cut your finger off on a log splitter.
Is this true? I don't even know how to operate a log splitter.
Oh, yeah. I've used log splitters for years back home.
You've still got 10 fingers.
Yeah, 10 big ones. No, if it's anything like ours, you just got this trigger. You set the big log on there, and then, yes, if you get your finger in there, absolutely. But you're going to have to what does this do? I mean, it's obvious not to stick your finger right there.
I mean, you're supposed to not leave behind evidence that you were there. So, I mean, it's not just, look at me, you kick off your footprints, you wear gloves so you're not leaving any fingerprints. You know, you make sure you don't leave anything behind. I mean, especially one of your extremities, for crying out loud. It's just like, be a smart thief. Or how about not try to steal one anyway, you Dumas. Here's my second one, and this goes to a familiar name for Razorback fans. It is, too, and this goes to my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Terrell Pryor and girlfriend Shalea Briston. So there was an incident that occurred between the two of them last year in which Briston allegedly stabbed Pryor, and Pryor received 90 days probation in return for a guilty plea to a harassment charge. The two of them basically were beating the stuffing out of each other. She sliced him with a knife. Pryor was hospitalized. This was about 11 months ago. He was hospitalized because of this, and the Pittsburgh Police Department described the two of them as mutual combatants. Well, it just comes out today that Pryor gets this probation. Briston had faced charges of felony attempted homicide and aggravated assault, but the charges were dropped. The part about this that is very Dumas-like, they're still a couple.
Hey, at least they work things out, right?
I'm sorry. If anybody ever comes at me with a knife, I might feel like we're on polar opposite ends of the spectrum here, and we might not need to be near each other anytime.
But maybe their love is just too strong, and maybe their love take cares of all things, even through knife swinging and stabbings.
Look, and I've not been the most perfect person when it comes to relationships, but I've never been attacked with a sharp object or a gun. If I was, would guarantee you I would be losing that phone number, blocking that Twitter account, blocking that Facebook account, Instagram, all that, and making sure that I never lay eyes on that person again. Terrell Pryor might be a little bit different. I think he probably is. So I think he and Shalala deserve themselves as my co-Dumas of the week. The other thing I wanted to get to here, and this is the most heartbreaking stat change I've ever heard of. So this last Monday night football game, a sack was changed to a tackle for loss. This was a bootleg play that Jared Goff ran, and he was tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Initially, this was ruled a sack by the NFL's official score, and because of that, a contestant on DraftKings named Rob Huntz, who is an insurance agent in St. Louis, won $1 million in a first prize. Well, then the official score changed the stat from sack to tackle for a loss, and he was no longer the winner of this fantasy day. You know how DraftKings works.
Have they ever had to pay out the $1 million before?
Well, I don't know, but what this cost this guy? This cost him just a simple change of a statistic, which, by the way, in college football, it would have been a sack. In the NFL, it's changed to tackle for a loss because it was thought of as a designed running play by the official score. This stat change cost this insurance agent $996,921.06. So instead of winning $1 million, he won $3,078.94, which isn't a bad day, but goodness gracious. How much Kleenex can you manufacture?
Oh, I feel bad for him.
He's not really a Dumas, though.
No, I'm not saying he is.
No,
I'm just
stat
saying
guy.
this is
the stat guy.
The stat guy's a Dumas.
Well, I didn't even classify this as part of the Dumas thing. I just
we're
thought this was
classifying it.
heartbreaking. I feel terrible for the guy because it's just, initially it was a sack, and he got word he was the winner. He's going to win $1 million. He sends a ton of text messages out, goes for a walk with the dog, comes back and sees score change the stat to TFL.
Well,
so
what a traumatic experience.
I love that dog walk. He went from millionaire to regular insurance agent dude.
I hope he doesn't take the frustration out on the dog.
No, just go find the official score and invite him over for a nice long conversation.
So you got to wonder sometimes, like with stuff like this, if they reached out to the NFL, it's like, look, guys, we're fixing to have to pay this little blankety blank $1 million. Make the change.
Wow. Wow, you sound like Arkansas fans after the Auburn loss and Ole Miss fans last week. It's a conspiracy. It's always a conspiracy.
There's always this big, and I'm not even going to get started on this massive conspiracy with the SEC Corporation that they're all out to get the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Maybe it was aliens.
Maybe that's
Brandon
what it
wants
was.
to know if the finger thing is dumber than getting Tabasco sauce in your eye in the middle of a press conference.
Look,
Who was it that got Tabasco
we
in
don't
his
have
eye?
to bring this to a Cowboys thing. Come on. We were having a good day, Brandon, until you said that.
Can I just say, just having Tabasco sauce over a real hot sauce would make you Dumas enough. I mean, I want something with flavor, not just the
What's your go-to hot sauce, real quick?
Frank's. Any
My
day
man.
of the week, Frank's.
Matty?
You got it.
I was going to say Tabasco, but I don't want to be wrong.
Get out of here, Matty. Get out of here. Off my lawn. Hey, if you live in Baxter County and you've been delaying your medical care because of the pandemic, don't do that. Baxter Regional Medical Center is ready to take care of your family safely with safe surgeries, safe procedures, and across all their service lines, safely seeing patients. Baxter Regional taking all necessary precautions. They have separate care areas for COVID and non-COVID patients. They'll screen you for COVID at the door. Everybody wears a face covering. They're socially distanced all throughout the facilities, and they frequently disinfect and clean, and they'll make sure that you're safe while you're getting your health care. That's Baxter Regional Medical Center. Learn more at baxterregional.org. And Bill King coming up next from Nashville Sports Radio for a chat on college.
The month of October, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax. That's right, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax for the month of October.
We also offer in-store no-credit check financing, delivery service, and service after the sale. At Frankfurt Furniture, we are family-owned, and we pride ourselves in carrying as many made-in-the-USA products as possible.
Remember, in October, no sales tax at Frankfurt Furniture, your made-in-the-USA headquarters. Frankfurt Furniture, best seats in the house.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is Pastor Heath from Woodland.
I know some of these ads make you glad, but most probably make you mad. The reason is people believe the lie that heals is better than the truth that hurts. Our purpose at Woodland is to risk the hurt by exposing the lies so you can be wise unto salvation. If you'd like to know more, check out our website, woodlandpeople.church. There you can download our app and listen to our podcast. That's woodlandpeople.church.
For the month of October, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax. That's right, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax for the month of October.
We also offer in-store no-credit check financing, delivery service, and service after the sale. At Frankfurt Furniture, we are family-owned, and we pride ourselves in carrying as many made-in-the-USA products as possible.
Remember, in October, no sales tax at Frankfurt Furniture, your made-in-the-USA headquarters. Frankfurt Furniture, best seats in the house.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is Pastor Heath from Woodland. I know some of these ads make you glad, but most probably make you mad. The reason is people believe the lie that heals is better than the truth that hurts. Our purpose at Woodland is to risk the hurt by exposing the lies so you can be wise unto salvation. If you'd like to know more, check out our website, woodlandpeople.church. There you can download our app and listen to our podcast. That's woodlandpeople.church.
Down Jenkins.
That's how I feel. And I'll say this, those are some sick people. Mentally sick.
85% of the world's working. The other 15 come out here.
And don't you ever put your finger on me. You hit me, Earl. You put your finger on me.
So my whole frustration comes in offensive rebound. The entire thing came down to offensive rebound. They got every offensive rebound. We didn't get one of them.
I thought it was horrible, disgusting, embarrassing, shameful. You do it again and I'll knock you right in your nose. It's stuck.
I mean, if you're not going to recover Greg Graham, if you're just going to let him drive by you, if the rest of you are going to let him catch the ball outside the 3-second lane and drive all the way in here without one guy challenging him, then I'm leaving and you guys will run till you can't even stop.
We couldn't do diddly poo offensively.
I'm tired of this.
People are sick when they do something like that.
I'm sick and tired of an 8-10 record.
Absolutely friggin' sick.
I'm tired of losing to Purdue.
We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't complete a pass. We sucked.
I'm not here to f*** around this week.
What else do you want to know?
I want to know a lot. That's why we bring on Bill King Wednesdays at 12:30, talking college football with the king of college football talk. Host 6 to 9 on Nashville Sports Radio. Bill, what's new in your world these days?
Oh, I guess watching the Big Ten rig it to where once they get started, it's time to shut down again. I guess that's got us occupied.
Well, that's this 21-day mandatory quarantine for anybody that tests positive, which is much more stringent than the SEC or any of the other leagues, and certainly more so than it was for professional sports. So, I mean, should we have been surprised, though, that the league that was out in front in terms of caution for the pandemic also put this kind of stipulation in to a season that might have already been blown up for Wisconsin?
I prefer the conspiracy that they knew what they were doing when they put in these measurements of time, and the end result will be more. Got to remember, they can't make these games up. These are cancellations. These aren't, we'll wait and find a spot somewhere. And I don't know if you've seen their tie-breaking rules that they've come up with, but and you'll have to read it. It's confusing, but you have to play. First of all, you have to play a minimum of 6 games to be eligible to be in the championship game, unless the league average number of games drops down, and then it has to be only 2 off the league average. So if teams got in an average in the Big Ten of 4 games before the championship game, you could play 2 games and still be mathematically eligible, and head-to-head will supersede winning percentage in the league. It's it's crazy. It's crazy.
It sounds contrived, but it also throws in the word here about legitimate and the idea of a legitimate season being played while you've got other leagues in the Big 12, SEC, ACC that are having legitimate full seasons-ish, here and there, a bump in the road. But, right, it doesn't seem like the way the Big Ten's got this thing constructed that they may end up being completely left out of the college football playoff, because as far as I'm concerned, if you only play 6 games, I don't know how you can compare that season against schools that play 10 or 11.
It's going to be really fun to watch the committee. I'm not a committee fan, meaning the concept of a committee. The computers were better, in my opinion, but it's going to be fun to see them work through this and what the cutoff point. Where's the number when it comes to, let's say, the SEC gets in, 9 games. I'm just making up numbers, and Big Ten ends up with 5 or 6. Is that just, even if Ohio State looks terrific, what's the cutoff number? And it's probably somewhere in there.
Let's get a look in the SEC here. We were talking about the first-year coaches the first 5 weeks into the season, and probably Arkansas. You don't make you're not basing the decision of a coaching hire on the first 5 games, but that's what we've got to work on. Right now, Sam Pittman appears to be maybe the best hire of the lot. Drinkwitz has done well in the first 4 games at Mizzou. I don't think Ole Miss fans are ready to get off the Lane train. The stuff happening, though, in Starkville right now has got to be a little bit alarming. Not necessarily in the idea that they're losing games, but they're getting blown out and losing players. I mean, Kylan Hill opting out, and he wasn't the only one.
An Ole Miss publication asked me to rank the coaches to date, the new ones, and I went Pittman 1A, Drinkwitz 1B, then I would go 3 Kiffin, 4 Leach. Leach, look, there's all kinds of sides to Mike Leach. And one side is the fun, we're scoring lots of points, quarterback stat sheet's crazy, we're just having a blast. The other side of him is he can be a rough dude now. And running people off does not surprise me. He's hinted at this a little bit. And he is a no-nonsense, I don't care, get out of here guy. He really is. And what's going on right now does not shock me at all. Probably see more of it.
Speaking to Bill King here on Halftime, Bill, keeping in the SEC here, and obviously we'll get your thoughts on Arkansas, Texas A&M here in just in a second. But I want to ask you about Jimbo Fisher. And you assume that just based off what we've seen with Jimbo Fisher that he's one of the best coaches in college football, but he only has 1 national title under him. He had a good quarterback in Jameis Winston. But in your opinion, how good of a coach is Jimbo Fisher, in your opinion?
First and foremost, and everybody has their origination, he is a very good quarterback developer. That's his, if you break him down to skill set, first and foremost, that's what he's best at. He's a pretty good to decent play caller. Nothing special, pretty good there. He's a very good recruiter. He can go out, Florida State, Texas A&M, and get players, and he'll continue to do that. And I think he hires coaches for the most part, with an exception or two, that are good at what they're being hired to do. And if you look at the rest of their schedule, if you just go by Vegas, they'll be favored in every game they play rest of the way. They've got a road game at Auburn favored, road game at Tennessee favored, other games, etc. Now, that doesn't mean they win them all, but he's set up to have a pretty good year in year 3 if they play the way they're playing right now, which is good.
So when you look ahead to this weekend, obviously Arkansas versus Texas A&M, I mean, what are your thoughts about this game? Do you think Arkansas can be competitive or win in this ball game? And also, moving ahead into next week, whoever wins this game, do you think this solidifies them, at least for the next week or two, being the second best team in the SEC West?
It's amazing we're having this conversation. I would not have admitted to having this conversation, but it's legit. Arkansas has earned it for the moment. Now, some of that would be LSU's back to the pack, Auburn's back to the pack too, a bit, but that's not Arkansas's problem. Arkansas is a very solid, fundamentally sound, steady football team that I enjoy. I did not. Again, guys, I thought Arkansas would look about like that. I thought it'd be just an absolute disaster year one and take a while to build up. And it still will take some time. But they are a solidified, motivated, energetic ball club. It's fun to follow. Yes, I think this game can be competitive. I don't know if I would pick them to win it, but this game is probably closer than I would have given credit for just, a month ago.
Hey, the Aggies are favored by 12.5. I'd take Arkansas with the points there easy, and this is just Wednesday. The last thing I want to touch on here, and I always hear from coaches and athletes and people that really know, you have to be good to be lucky on a consistent basis. So does that mean Auburn is the best team in the SEC because they certainly seem like they're the luckiest right now?
Well, Birmingham is supposed to be set up for Tuscaloosa, right? Which historically it probably is. Everybody's got their political angle inside the league, right? And in the Big 12, for example, it's Texas. Texas runs that league. But Auburn's getting all the Alabama breaks, right? Alabama's so good that luck is the residue of design. That's a famous saying, right? And Auburn probably should have at least 2 losses, maybe 3. The Arkansas game, not reviewing the kick properly, not stopping and reviewing the kick in the Ole Miss game. And right before half in the Kentucky game was a horrible call on the goal line. I don't know if that means that Kentucky wins the game because you still have a half to play after that. But they have been incredibly fortunate. They're not very good. On the defensive side of the ball, they lost so much personnel. It's been tough. Offensively, they're inconsistent at quarterback. They've got one stud receiver who is a stud, and the Bigsby kid, the freshman out of Georgia, Tank Bigsby, is really coming on at running back. He'll be a star. And that's about it right now, guys. Average on the offensive line. So, yeah, I think I think they've been incredibly fortunate.
Sooner or later, luck does run out. And I want to go the last thing here about the complaints that Lane Kiffin had from this non-review over the weekend, and Arkansas fans have reason to complain. It's not just these 2 games. It's something that we've seen over the last couple of years. There's just not you're looking for better communication, transparency, and for being the best college football league in America right now, there just isn't much of that, and that's going to have to change in the near future, I think. Yeah.
Lane insinuated what that telephone call was about, the one he got from the SEC, and it was, we blew it. We should have stopped and looked at this thing, and they didn't. And I'm not sure why you would, in the moment, he said the ref over there by him, he asked him, and he said, look, they checked it, and they said there's nothing there. I guess at that moment, maybe you waste a timeout. He took their word for it, but that's what I would have done right there. That's a huge moment in the ballgame. That's perhaps a touchdown, and certainly a difference maker in the ballgame. And of course, look, Lane's gonna pop off about it, and that fine I thought was pretty funny, as far as entertaining us all and everything else. I had people on my show looking for mailing addresses. They literally were sending him 100 pennies in the mail. I don't know how many of my guys did it, but they did. So we've all had fun with it, but yes, those are some officiating snafus that should not be happening. If it's common sense to the lay person, there's no excuse.
Lane Kiffin's got $25,000 in his navel. He'll be just fine. Hey, you live in Nashville. Mookie Betts is a Nashville native. He's a World Series champion again. Is he a celebrated athlete in Nashville?
I'm sorry, what was that last part?
Mookie Betts. He's from Nashville. He's a World Series champion again. Is he a celebrated athlete in the Music City?
He played baseball at John Overton High School, which is in the heart of the city, and also played basketball. He's a really good little point guard and is a perfect bowler. From birth, he was bowling. Natural athlete, signed with Tennessee out of high school, did not get there, got drafted, wasn't a high pick, but you could just tell. Bat, glove, running, probably the best base runner we've seen in a while in baseball. Right. I'll tell you who else was here. He's not from here, but was here for 3 years, is Walker Buehler. Yeah. He's from Lexington, Kentucky, Henry Clay High School, played at Vanderbilt, and probably the best young pitcher in baseball right now. Walker Buehler, and he was a pleasure to watch back then. You probably remember him playing at Vanderbilt in all those games.
Bill, my first year
he
doing Arkansas
he threw
games,
about 90.
The thing that was crazy
he
about that team,
he weighed about 160, threw about 90. Now he's throwing 100.
And he was the Sunday starter. He wasn't even Friday or Saturday that season. That was the crazy thing.
Amazing. And again, you could, and I don't watch it like you guys. By the way, I'm a Dodger fan, and I didn't watch half the game, but I'm hearing he's probably the best, 25, 26-year-old young pitcher, maybe in baseball at the moment.
I think he is. I think you're right. Bill, always appreciate your time, man.
Okay,
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Bill.
Enjoy the games this weekend. One and only Bill King, the king of college football talk, 6 to 9 Nashville Sports Radio. Great place to watch football, whether it's college, NFL, whatever. Buffalo Wild Wings. SmackDown loves those wings.
I love them, and it's almost Boneless Thursday tomorrow night for the sauced nugs / boneless chicken wing deal tomorrow night. You can get buy one, get one free boneless wings tomorrow night. But make sure you head over there. You can check out their new cauliflower wings paired with their new Zing Zang sauce. One of my favorites, the smoked brisket burger's fantastic. They've got the new daily trivia games with Buffalo Wild Wings. They got all kinds of stuff for you and your family to take advantage of, and also just great chicken wing sauces like the Carolina Reaper. Phil, you love Carolina Reaper, don't you?
It loved me more than I loved it.
That's what I thought. Make sure you head over to Buffalo Wild Wings today. You can find locations in Little Rock, Fort Sherwood, Jonesboro, and in Conway. And that's only at Buffalo Wild Wings. And we'll wrap up halftime coming up next.
Hi, Phil Elson for CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers in Russellville and Fayetteville. I love a good burger, and I love piping hot fries. And the best in the state for both are at CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers, no doubt about it. Chuck shoulders, fresh ground daily, always fresh. The fries always hot. Hand-spun shakes, and at both of their locations in Russellville and Fayetteville, limited seating capacity is open now at CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
Up to $6,500 in savings on 2020 Ford Escape, Fusions, and Edge at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. The 2020 Ford Escape. Get $4,500 in rebates, plus $1,000 in trade assistance. Only $22,662. Ford Fusion, $4,000 off, just $29,527. And the Ford Edge, $4,500 off, only $30,887. The lowest prices, the best selection. Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Are you ready to take the next step? Want to make real money? How about averaging $2,800 per week? United Welding Institute is accepting new students to shape into high-paid career welders. Graduates of United Welding Institute find great-paying jobs in the oil field, power plants, refineries, pipelines, and more. United Welding Institute in Pottsville, Arkansas has been training professional field-tested welders since 2013. Change your life and call 479-968-3390 or visit UnitedWeldingInstitute.com.
In the mood for a top shelf night, 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge has your number. Sit back, relax, and enjoy select wines, top shelf spirits, and handcrafted cocktails in a rich, comfortable, sanitized setting with state-of-the-art air filtration. Indulge in one of their delicious appetizers, sandwiches, salads, or specialty items for carry-out or dine-in. Open Tuesday through Saturday. Stop by 906 Garrison Avenue in Fort Smith. 906 Garrison in Fort Smith. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands like Michelin and BF Goodrich. Take advantage of our $29.95 oil change, which includes a 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality Michelin and BF Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed.
Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Shelter agent Phil Hicks about a free insurance review.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources. I'm shocked it's October already. This year's gone by so fast it's scary. Now I'm afraid I'm not going to hit my goals, so I'm rolling out my most shocking deals yet. It's my Shocktober sales event. Swap your current car for one of our Rath Road Ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center, and priced to save you money. So dump that pumpkin that's haunting your driveway. Trade and save on a nicer, newer car today. Are past credit problems keeping you up at night? Don't be scared. My For the People credit approval process is a treat, and our friendly, non-commissioned sales staff can help you get the nicer, newer car you want at a price and payment that fits your budget. Keeping the car you have? Let us get it ready for fall in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes, buy 3, get 1 free on all tires, or call ahead and set up your free winter-ready inspection. It's the Shocktober sales event, only in Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
This is ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, the Hog Talk Podcast. Fantasy Football Sunday and Primetime Preps, all available on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just type Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Our podcasts are on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, hitthatline.com, Anchor, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Google Play.
Thank you. Thank you for this. Thank you for all this.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
All right, a few things to clean up here. Don't forget tonight. Who's singing SmackDown? Sing it. You never know this about your. The dude has a falsetto like nobody's business. I thought we weren't doing singing anymore.
I'm gonna start singing our rejoins.
Falsetto doesn't count. That's impressive to have a voice as low as you have, deep as you have. To be
That's
as large as you are, but to be able to have a falsetto.
That's what 7 years of high school choir.
Well, I was
going to
say, I was in here during the break, and I know for a fact nobody kicked you in the crotch, so that's all.
It's all real.
Talent. Right?
It's all real. It's all about the larynx in the back of your throat.
Time to change your nickname from SmackDown to the Sparrow.
do you have to say it like the Sparrow?
Voice. Just like that. It's exactly right. You also have to tell them where they can enter the Hardee's Lunch Bunch, because tomorrow we're giving away burgers to some lucky workers in our listening audience.
Can we do this in a falsetto or in a very low, deep voice?
Do it in a low,
I would
deep
say
voice.
As low and deep as you possibly can.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go do the Hardee's Lunch Bunch. No, that was too creepy. I creeped myself out a little bit. Head over to hitthatline.com and do the Hardee's Lunch Bunch. Like Phil said, we're going to give away a winner tomorrow. Only halftime. Oh, yeah, baby. Head to hitthatline.com. We'll give that away tomorrow. If you haven't entered, click on the Lunch Bunch button on the top corner of the screen, and you can get entered. There's a new winner each and every week, only right here on Halftime, and we will announce that winner tomorrow. And that's brought to you by hitthatline.com and your best friends over at Hardee's in Northwest Arkansas.
They got juicy burgers there.
I haven't had a Hardee's thick burger in a while. I need to get over there.
Anybody else is creeped out by SmackDown being able to hit the low notes and the high notes all at the same time. You are a highly talented individual. Goodness gracious.
My claim to fame, not really a claim to fame, but it's something I'm proud of. When I'm in my truck by myself, and I've done it in front of friends before, I can hit the Steven Tyler Dream On scream at the end of a song.
Do people say you sound just like...
Can you do some Robert Plant from Zeppelin? Can you hit that?
I don't know if I could get that high.
Can you sing Stairway to Heaven for us?
See, I would, but there's no music in the background. It's a shame you don't have YouTube sitting in front of you. I just don't want to make you go through the trouble of pulling up Stairway to Heaven.
Okay, that's very generous.
All right, I've just added another one as I continue to grow my list of Change My Mind.
What did I do this time?
I don't know. The Change My Mind. The first Change My Mind would be we shouldn't be singing on our show any longer. It didn't work the first time for Ty.
Okay.
Although Ty's, in fairness,
don't compare my singing ability to Ty.
You have a much prettier singing voice than Ty does. So.
I was a first chair bass 2 in high school. Thank you very much.
I am nervous for the Razorbacks to play at Texas A&M this weekend, and it's not about the outcome of the game. It's that I don't think the Aggies are really treating the pandemic very seriously when it comes to the way that the stadium is going to be put together. I mean, I remember watching their game against Florida. The upper deck was almost empty. The student section was just like a regular Saturday. It's like I've said. I mean, they might as well have just been naked licking each other, and it would have been the same effect. I don't think that would have made it on television, though. But it's the same thing. I mean, we saw the same thing happen at Mississippi State, and I feel lucky that Arkansas got out of that game without any infections. But look what happened to the last team that played at A&M, Florida. I don't know how they got it. If the 24 players and the numerous coaches that came down with the virus, if they got it from being close to the stands or whatever with a packed student section at Kyle Field. But I just don't – I expect it. It was not a coincidence. It was not a coincidence for the last home game for A&M for that to happen. So it makes me nervous because Arkansas has been so good at containing the virus or mitigating it for the student athletes that I wonder if they can continue to do that this weekend when the last team that went into College Station ended up having to postpone a game. So that does make me very nervous. All right, a couple of others. So I know Tommy Kraft isn't on the morning show. I think you're going to have to get somebody else to do the mortgage rates read because Ty Richardson is a natural when it comes to certain other advertisements, but a reading about mortgage rates is not one of them. It's not that you've got to be a homeowner in order to read about mortgage rates and everything, but I think it might help.
But you have to have
the
a
perspective
mortgage
of it. You have to understand what they are,
right,
and what all those things mean. So I don't know. Maybe get Clay Henry to read those things.
Oh, that'd be fantastic
if Tommy's off.
Now, Tommy, we will have Tommy Kraft back here tomorrow, though. So
got another one here. We figured out SmackDown's punishment if he loses the weekend picks. If this could be a good change my mind. And we figured it out last night. I know we got into a little bit on the show. That he's got to watch The Exorcist. A lot.
Okay.
He's got to watch The Exorcist if he loses our college football and NFL pick'ems. We're gonna add another layer to it. Not another movie. I know I said maybe we would force you to watch another movie, SmackDown, but we're just gonna go with one. But the addendum to this is that you're gonna have to watch The Exorcist late at night on a Friday night.
My God.
Maddie T and I will be there with you, not to hold your hand, but to live stream your facial expressions on all of our streaming platforms, because that would be more exciting and more interesting than the movie itself.
Can I ask a question? What was Ty's punishment if he'd have lost?
Ty was going to have to watch The Exorcist
okay,
too.
Right,
this is like
sure.
my. This is my.
I just want to make sure that my punishment and Ty's punishment are on level playing ground. So okay.
Look, when I deal with co-hosts that are scaredy pants and won't watch horror movies, where do you think I'm going with this?
That's fine. I've got an idea for you that I'm working on right now.
Well, good. You've got to figure out one for me. It cannot involve a polar plunge or spicy foods because I've already done that, because I've been a loser 2 times over.
Oh, you're fixing to be a loser 3 times over.
We've got to figure out Matty T's. So, I mean, it's all about the power of persuasion, and if you're trying to persuade – well, not the power of persuasion. It's what's the way to put this? You need a motivation, right? You need motivation to pick properly. Your motivation is that you don't get so scared on a Friday night that you end up, blowing up your head from all the facial expressions we're going to be live streaming on Facebook.
Oh, yay. Oh, that's going to be great. But it's not going to happen because I'm not going to lose this damn thing. I'm going to make sure I win one way or another. Fairly. I will do it fairly.
Another one that I had here, and we didn't get to play the song, unfortunately, but SmackDown. You want to play the song, play it on the way out?
So
SmackDown announced a high school volleyball tournament last night. This song by Bruno Mars was played. Versace on the Floor, a song about undressing somebody.
I will
say
if
that belongs at a high school volleyball tournament.
I'll preface this by saying it only played for like 15 seconds or so during a break, but yeah, I was feeling it last night.
I'm sure you were. For Matty T and SmackDown, I'm Phil. Keep feeling it. Get up. Get out. Get better.
And you'll find clearance deals like never before. Stop in today and check out the largest